do all the introductions. Yeah, okay. Good afternoon. Professor Pam Fredman, President of International Association of Universities, Dr. Hilich van Land, IAU Secretary General, Professor Dr. Nur Hayati Abu Qasim, Co-Chair, IAU 2018, Professor Dr. Kamila Ghazali, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic and International, University of Malaya, members of the UN Management Team, IAU Administrative Board of Directors, invited speakers, IAU 2018 participants, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the closing ceremony of the IAU 2018 International Conference. As we are all aware, IAU 2018 is a jointly organized event by IAU and It has been indeed an interesting, intensive 2 days of insightful plenary sessions and academic discourses. And it's been a great honor and a big pleasure to welcome all of you again this afternoon for the final event. All good things must come to an end, unfortunately. Well, without any further delay, it gives me great pleasure to invite Dr. Hilich van Land, IAU Secretary General, to deliver her closing speech.
A closing speech. That's rather ambitious, and I'm sure you're waiting only for that. 2 hours of a big speech? No, that's not what I'm going to do. I think the speeches and the discussions have been in the room since the day before yesterday, and so it's not a speech as such that I will deliver here. I would like to take opportunity of a last discussion I had just before running here by one of the participants, and it so happens that it was a colleague from the Netherlands, but she had a nice metaphor for this conference that I would like to use. She said that conference like this one, where she attended for the first time, and others have attended for the first time, is like a big book, where you know everything's written, yet you don't know from one chapter to the next how it will unfold and how it will conclude. And I think even for us in the IAU, we don't know. We write the book, and yet we have to reread it with you as it unfolds. And I thought it was a very nice way of looking at what happened here, because the entirety and the final chapters that we've been able to finalize here actually made for a very nice conference, if I look from my end, and I hope it is the same from yours. How to conclude on a conference like this one when it has been so rich, where the discussions have taken off in so many directions, yet always looking at one central part of what actually moves us all. What is the role of higher education today, and for tomorrow? There are many avenues that we've been discussing around the issue of higher education as a global common good. We've defined it in different manners, and that's probably the best way as well, because diversity is what is defining our community. So we have different approaches to things, and even the notion of common good requires different definitions that we can then compare notes on and see how to make sure that we still can come out with one global common voice on what we wish higher education to look like in order for it to allow to teach, to do research, and to engage with the communities in a way that makes sense, not only locally or regionally, but certainly internationally. So we talked about adapting to a transforming world, but we certainly also looked at how to shape it from our end so that it is not an adaptation to things that are being written in a book that others have committed, but that it remains our book. Then as well, we looked at the social responsibility with the emphasis on the word responsibility, on the word engagement as well. And that is very important because all the different things that we've been discussing here is about that. We're being tasked with something that is very big, very large, and very important. The role of higher education in our societies is definitely key. And the responsibility we have into teaching the kind of citizens that will turn the world into something that is even more livable tomorrow than it is today, because we pride ourselves of saying that we're not at war that much, but there are too many wars around the world, there are too many conflicts, too many oppositions, and that is certainly something where higher education needs to engage into much more forcefully through everything that we do. It can be through internationalization, for that matter, sending our students around the world, but also sending our staff elsewhere to better understand the different dynamics of what is moving us and better understand how we can work together in different ways, better respect, better transformation of ourselves through these confrontations. And that's always the beauty of these conferences as well. You come from so many different walks of life with so many expectations, with so many different ways of looking at the things that we propose, that it is beautiful to come out of these conferences transformed. I do, anyway, each and every time I come to these events, even though we think we have some of the tools in our hands and we can decide somehow to invite this person, that person. We never know what comes out of it because you are free to express yourselves in different ways, and I learn a lot from the confrontation even then of the people on panels, the discussions that come out of it, and the discussions that engage with the room. So we have looked at our traditional roles of higher education, at teaching and learning, at research, at community engagement. But we haven't looked at it in a traditional way. I've heard many different things in the different rooms that I could attend. Always a little frustration that I could not attend all the other sessions, but because there as well many things happen, and so people report, and there this was fascinating and that was good. I couldn't hear it, but what is beautiful is that after the conference we will have all the presentations online that you will be able to read and reread, and I would really invite you to do so, and also if you're interested to ask further questions, to engage with the authors of these presentations, PowerPoint presentations, slides, whatever, and then engage with them if you have further questions, because it should not stop at the end of this conference, but rather be kind of a continuum and a discourse that continues into the future, way beyond the walls of this room and the rooms that we used now. So we looked at financing and what we now do and how we want to do it. We looked at the private sector engagement. We looked at digital transformation. We looked at the different values that we stand for in our university. And we looked at those dimensions that would actually foster a whole of institution approach to anything that is part and parcel of the new discourse that we wish to have on higher education. Yet Zulkifli Abdulrazak said it this morning, maybe it's not a new discourse that we have, but it is rethinking again of what the basic values of higher education are, state them again, and make sure that we don't lose track of what is actually it is that we wish to do and how we want to do it. So new types of collaboration. We hope that you had the opportunity to liaise with your colleagues in a different way, to develop partnerships, not always signed in terms of an MOU or an official exchange, yet in really these transformative approaches to each other's realities through a dialogue, through a discussion, through exchange of cards that will lead maybe one of you to travel to another part of the world, not only physically, but also through online meetings, through exchanges of maybe a very traditional letter with a stamp, why not? We can go back to that sometimes as well, so that the exchanges take place, that we connect our worlds in a different way, exchange of publications. That as well is a very strong opportunity for rethinking what we do. We're very fortunate that today much of what we publish is available online, and so it's a unique opportunity as well there to look at what is happening. What's the discourse on things in a totally different part of our planet where the connect is maybe not yet made, but would merit much more attention. So this is one conference. I will not go way beyond what I just said. I think the essence was, again, in the room and not in my hands. We will, however, have an opportunity to look back once we're back in the office in Paris, and we will at that time also try and see how we can report on this conference more forcefully, also through the different communication channels that we have, and get back to you and give back to you what you have given to us. But this is a part of a continuum, as I said, and so next year we will continue to discuss these things, and so all along the way I hope we will be in touch and we have opportunities for you to engage with us. And so I would really like to again draw your attention to maybe 4 opportunities for you to engage with the IAU. It's not only a way to connect with each other, but it's to connect with the global discourse on higher education. So don't forget you have these opportunities that we presented yesterday that you feel you could read about in the booth, and that you could discuss with IAU staff members and IAU board members who were present and those who attended past events. So maybe I can draw again attention to 4, because these are engagement opportunities for you to liaise in smaller groups and in a different way. The first one is definitely Leading Globally Engaged Universities program. The title says it all, and that's what you're all busy with, how to engage globally in a different way. And all at the different levels within the institution, from the rector, vice chancellor, president, to the student, we're all the leaders of today and of tomorrow. So we need to connect, and through this program, you have an opportunity to come together in smaller groups. Then the second one was on technologies. There as well, there are many opportunities to engage. Trine said it yesterday. She presented on the various opportunities. Don't hesitate to get back to her to ask, but you will find it on the internet, and as well to come together. And there again, it requires a bit of travel, but come to Barcelona to have this first attempt to providing you with an opportunity to see what happens when you wish to transform your university through technology. And we've engaged, and I'm not too sure that I'm not going too far here, but we've engaged with South Africa to see if the next meeting could take place over there, for instance. But your universities may as well have developed initiatives that people should learn about, could learn about, and would wish to learn about. So again, come back to us, engage and share. Then also, why not come to the IAU masterclass on internationalization? Internationalization, we believe it's passé. Some even say we will get rid of the internationalization offices in our universities because we now know it's everywhere. There's a whole institution approach to internationalization. I would like to ask you to reconsider that if you're heading in that direction, because internationalization is yet not where it could be. There's many links that could be developed to really link it up to, for instance, Agenda 2030, and to rethink the kind of internationalization that we foster in our universities to take on board all these different dimensions. A colleague asked again this morning, but okay, is this a lot of woolly discussion? Another said, but how do you really translate this? How do you see the relation between internationalization and the Sustainable Development Goals? Well, it would be, for instance, to not always invite the students to your university in whichever part, but to send your students to other parts of the world, and not only for months to get data and analyze them at home. No, to go somewhere else, get the data, analyze them locally with the people locally, and make sure that the outcomes of your research is of relevance, and locally, and then also globally. That would be one, and then take any of the aspects that are there, so to make sure that internationalization has this other dimension. It is ethical, it is balanced, it is different. And those dimensions, you need a strong office. a few people who can help guide, and then you will have to infuse it within the institution. So a masterclass is one opportunity, but there are many others. You can engage with the IAU on those different dimensions, and also publish in our different publications on these issues so that you share where you are. Higher education and research for sustainable development, people said, but then what concrete activities do you have? And for instance, if you're a history teacher, what do you do? How can you teach sustainable development goals in your class? Well, my response would be, why not talk about peace and peaceful resolutions to the issues we face today, and then have a historical or history approach to it and look through time how things have evolved. You can look at water for that matter. Here in this room, we had a discussion in the working groups on water issues. The water issues are those that we will be confronted with ultimately each and every one of us around the world. And water you can look at from a cultural perspective, you can look at from a history perspective. What made us think that we could build dams in one country and then prevent another country to use the same kind of water? What does it mean in terms of cultural implications, in terms of social implications, in terms of new historical developments? So that's also an opportunity to discuss either in the engineering classes, or to use it in history classes, or to use it in literature classes for that matter. Political science is a beautiful field to actually reorient and use the different goals. So many of these aspects resonate with what I could hear in the different discussions that took place, not only, and that's the beauty of this conference, not only in the different rooms, but certainly as well around the table in the lunches, around the coffees and the teas or the refreshments, and even at night when some of us or some of you would meet downstairs in the bar. So it's very important that these discussions, they start somewhere and they have a continuum. Even those who actually wandered off and went shopping, I'm sure that the shopping was also an opportunity to connect with the culture. And then if you went with a colleague, that will be the start of a new opportunity to work together. So many opportunities there. Look at what we have to offer, and let's think about how to transform higher education for the future together. And let's come to Mexico already informed and really with this dynamic in mind. And something else that will be on your radar screen very quickly, or at least on your Catholic screen, because we will send to you invitations to take part in the festivities that will lead up to the not the World Conference, but to the General Conference of the International Association of Universities that will be hosted by the University College in Dublin in Ireland. And there we will also look at the relevance and the values of higher education for today and for tomorrow. And since that will also be the opportunity to do two other things, I would like to spell them out here. We will celebrate then 70 years of the IAU. There's 70 years of UNESCO, 70 years of many other multilateral organizations, and it's also 70 years of the International Association of Universities. So what we would like to do, among many other things, is to celebrate these 70 years with you by offering you the opportunity to publish something that would be meaningful, and along the way having 70 testimonials on what the role of higher education is, so that we can come to the General Conference with a publication really voicing your points of views, concerns, opportunities that you see from all walks of your university lives and from all parts of the world. So that invitation will be out pretty soon, and that will allow to come to that conference as well informed. Also, something really to put already in your thinking is that we will have elections at the General Conference in 2020, and we're never too early in preparing for that. So we will have a new and renewed board. We will have a new president. Pam will stay on, but there's only one mandate, unfortunately, so you will stay on as past president then, but you have a lot of work in between, and your task is certainly not finished. But think about who among you would be interested to be part of the board and to make the difference for the future by joining the board at that point in time. So the conference is also that, is to offer the opportunity for all to connect, for all to share, for all to showcase what is happening in your parts of the world, and to certainly discuss these issues, not for one time, but again, in this strong continuum. So I would like to thank many of you for that very strong participation for now, but before going to the official thanks, I would like to leave the floor to somebody else before coming back later.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hilich, for your closing message and the insights into the role of higher education, as well as the various engagement opportunities she has highlighted for us to connect and work together and network. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite now our next speaker, Professor Dr. Nur Hayati, who is the Dean of Health and Wellbeing Research Cluster of the University of Malaya, as well as the co-chair of IAU 2018 International Conference, to deliver her closing remarks.
Thank you, Sheena. I think this is the time where we take out our tissues and say, not goodbye, but till we meet again. But anyway, we have reached the end of the IAU 2018 International Conference, and it's always the sad task of the local organizing committee to bid farewell to all the delegates who has become friends to all of us. And on that note, I also like to say that it's a privilege and honor to be hosting this conference, and where we reflect upon smart partnership for societal impact among leaders of the higher education. As we have heard over the past 2 days, the breakup sessions and plenary sessions, as Hilich said, that we try to go to all the sessions, but unfortunately, sometimes as local organizing committee, we have other tasks to do. So although I've missed many sessions, I think this session is video recorded and we will share all the presentations. So I will later sit back and quietly internalize and try to look at the various perspectives that has been put forward in this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of University of Malaya, I would like to thank IAU for giving us the opportunity to host this prestigious conference this year. Actually, I must also thank I must also thank Tan Sri Zulkifli, the immediate past president of IAU, who actually encouraged me to bring IAU to Malaysia. And I traveled 36 hours to Iquitos in 2014. It was a long journey, but a very fruitful one, as you have seen today. Indeed, it has been, by the way, as you know, that the first UM hosted the IAU in 1973. So indeed, this is a nice homecoming for IAU to Malaysia. To our sponsors, thank you very much for your generosity in cash and kind, especially Malaysian Convention and Exhibition Bureau and Sarawak Convention Bureau. We would also like to acknowledge the contribution of Millennium Travel and Logistics Sdn Bhd for helping us in this organization, namely Datin Ras and also Miss Diong, she's in there. Without their help, we are always doing our daily work, so it would have been very difficult for me and my committee. Last but not least, I wish to express my gratitude to our local organizing committee at as well as IAU. There are many names to say, but I think later we will do something. But I like to say I would like to thank these few people, Professor Kamila Ghazali, our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics and International. Without her support, it would have been, this mammoth task would not have been made easy at all. Trini Jensen from IAU, the number of times we Skype and how she tried to understand how we do things and how we would like it to be a win-win situation for both. Siti Salwati, without her, my life would be, well, I wouldn't say nightmare, but almost near there. Dr. Yong Zulina, who unfortunately is away on an official visit, not actually visit, an official, she's attending another network in Bali. And Dr. Sheena Kaur, I think you must say that she is such a good MC, and all the committee members and student volunteer, a big thanks. But I must say that this conference will not be a successful one without all of you here. On a final note, I wish you all a pleasant journey home to your countries and hope that you will come back to Kuala Lumpur. I hope if you have time and if you have not booked a seat at the music recital, please attend the music recital with us. It is the University Malaya Orchestra is another pride of ours, and at the same time, the University Malaya Research Carnival is going on also, where we are showcasing research that we have done for the society. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the Malaysian traditional way, we always say a pantun. A pantun is actually an oral literary form of similar to a poem or a sonnet. I quickly Google just now. So it's this way. I will try to translate it, but maybe not a direct translation. Kalau ada sumur di ladang, boleh kita menumpang mandi. Kalau ada umur yang panjang, boleh kita berjumpa lagi. It means that the two first line is just to set a scene that says that it may not make any sense. It says that if there is a beautiful well in your garden, let us enjoy it too. But if we have a long life, hopefully we all have long life, and by then we will be able to meet again. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to Malaysia and especially Kuala Lumpur. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Prof. Hayati. So, from Malaysia, IAU 2018, we move on to the next venue for IAU 2019. And I'm sure you can guess now where the next venue is going to be held. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to IAU 2019 representatives. And now I'm honored to invite to stage Dr. Odorico Mora Carrion, Director, Benemerita Universidad Autónoma de Pueblo, I hope I got it right, Mexico, who will announce the next IAU 2019 International Conference. Thank you.
Hola. Okay, now it's a little bit complicated. It's the last voice you will be hearing for the IAU. So let me start with something. Please stand up. Everyone, please stand up. Yeah. Now, look in the front row or behind you, and please go and greet someone you haven't talked to in the entire conference. Please, go ahead. No business cards, just say hello, how are you? One person you haven't talked at all in the whole conference. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you to go back to this person, but just have in your mind that you're encountering this person again after 10 years. So 10 years from now, you re-encounter with this person at an IAU conference. But there is a special thing in this conference, because in this conference, 10 years from now, we would have achieved the 80% of the SDGs. How would you greet this person? Go. How would you greet this person? After 10 years, now we're celebrating. We made a great achievement. Thank you very much. Please, you can go back to your seats. Thank you very much. So, that's the way great achievements are being made. We need to use our imagination. We need to have those things in our mind in order for those effects to happen. Yes, please, make it louder.
Join in, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone more than welcome? Yes? All right. Anyone else from Mexico? Anyone else who'd like to join?
you very much. Thank you very much. So this is a group of 4 Mexican students who are here at the University of Malaya. Muchas gracias, chicos. And I want to especially thank to all the students for the Malaya University because they have been great. They have been really, really, really good and really, really warm with all us. So thank you very much. Now I'm going to be a little bit more serious and do my presentation. So am I controlling this? Yes?
Yes?
Can you see the slide?
Slide.
Allow me to give a brief introduction about our institution, as well as the facilities that will be allocated next year for hosting the IAU events. Now, I'm sorry. Nothing. Yeah, because... Thank you. Thank you. Now, the Autonomous University is located in Puebla. Puebla is the central capital of the state with the same name. We are in the central south side of the Mexican Republic. This is a public university. This was founded in the middle of the 16th century. And we trace back, during these last decades, we have constituted ourselves as a pillar for higher education and scientific research in the region. We are occupying a prominent place among public universities in the country. Now, this is the president of our university, Dr. Alfonso Esparza Ortiz. He was planned to come here. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. But now, in the last 5 years, many changes have been performed during these years. Along with the university community, we have placed our institution as the toehold point for the social, economic, and scientific development of the whole state. At the BOP, we are devoted to offer high-quality education services. This has been possible given a strategic planification that has considered an increasement of our academic programs and facilities within Puebla's capital city. As well inside the state, as seen in the single during the last 5 years, we have increased the students' enrollment around 30%, reaching this year more than 100,000 students enrolled on high school programs, undergraduate programs, and graduate programs. According to national standards, each of the 85 of our undergraduate programs have been recognized as high-quality academic programs. This recognition has been granted after rigorous inspections to academic profiles, research projects, laboratories, libraries, and collaboration agreements in the industry. Our average students, they come from middle to low-income families. To support these expense, to support their needs, we have over a range of stipends through scholarship based on outstanding academic, cultural, sports performance. The Mexican Ministry of Education created the concept Cuerpos Académicos. These are like academic groups. Under this, a group of researchers working in public funded institutions are recognized for reaching a set of common academic goals, including the production of international levels research outputs. These recognitions are granted under a three-level scheme, being the consolidated level as the highest position of academic group that can achieve. At the BOP, we have 214 consolidated level academic groups, which is the highest number of groups in my country, in Mexico. There are many strategies. Internationalization is very important for us, so we have established like 3 different offices for internationalization. It's not only about MOCUs or agreements. We have an office that is specialized in the internationalization of research and also in the internationalization of curriculum. So that gives us that figure. This is the number of students that have been part of mobility programs in Mexico and abroad since 2013. The graduate studies are an essential component of our academic activities. We have 49 master's programs, 23 PhD programs, and we currently hold more than 3,000 students in these programs. We have something in Mexico that is called El Sistema Nacional de Investigadores. I'm sure that we all have something similar in each country. So this program allows to locate, to number, and to analyze the quality and the quantity of researchers into this. So fortunately, since 1984, that is the program, our figures are really, really high in our country. According to Scopus, during the last 5 years, more than 3,000 papers have been published by our professors and students. And besides this achievement, Mexican Industry of Property Office has granted us 30 patents, and some of those have also been granted under the Patent of Cooperation Treaty. We have been evaluated by different international rankings, such as QS, Time Higher Education, and in both cases, BUAP has demonstrated that the value of its research outputs, according to Web of Sciences, the average paper that is published by our scientists is being cited at least 13 times within the 5 years of its publication. After this brief introduction, allow me to mention how pleased we are to host the 2019, the main event. I'm referring to the Administrative Board meeting, the Global Meeting of Associations, and the IAU 2019 International Conference. By the way, do you know the name of the next conference? Well, everyone has a copy of this, right? I'm showing you this magazine because the picture here is the street just behind my office. So I get to walk this street all the time. Now, this is a kind invitation to visit Puebla. But yes, the name of their next conference is Transforming Higher Education for the Future. As I have already mentioned, our university is located in Puebla. This is a colonial city. It's located in the central south region of the Mexican Republic. It combines modern infrastructure with traditional expressions. Puebla is a place where you can enjoy the facades covered in Talavera, elegant colonial buildings and streets, among history, tradition, culture, natural beauty, and modernity. You will find touches of art and colorful buildings, as well as traditional houses, delicious gastronomy, and countless treasures. So here is I would like to play a video of what we have done in the last 5 years in the university. So if you could play the video. Thank you. Now, I hope that after the video, you would be a little bit more interested in coming to our university. Now, it's rather easy to reach Puebla. We have two main airports. There is an airport in Puebla. You can receive daily basis flights from Dallas, Houston, and we have the Mexico City, which is the international airport. It's like 2 hours away from our city. It's very, very easy to get a bus and come here to Puebla. Now, Puebla is ready to host visitors from abroad with a wide range of hotels near the venue where the IAU meetings will take place. For international recognized hotel chains to low-rate hotels, a set of accommodation solutions is provided. And if you mention that you come to a BUAP event, you will get a discount, okay? Now, IAU events will be hosted by 3 main institutions. The Asociación Nacional de Universidades e Instituciones de Educación Superior, which is a group of universities of higher education in Mexico, and also by the Unión de Universidades de América Latina y el Caribe, whose president is with us, and us, the Benemérita Universidad Autónoma de Puebla. El Complejo Cultural Universitario, which is a complex dedicated to culture and arts, will be the venue to host IAU meetings. It counts on the facilities to carry out the event. in the best approach with the highest quality, services, equipment, and it will be providing an excellent academic meeting while enjoying a beautiful Mexican city. According to the proposed schedule, we will be pleased to welcome you all during the opening receptions. During these, you will enjoy a sample of plenteous Mexican music, as well as traditional dancing, among other cultural pieces. For those willing to enjoy a visit to archaeological zones, a half-day trip will be organized. Puebla is not only recognized as a modern and cultural city, but as one of the best cities to enjoy Mexican cuisine. Without stepping out of the installations where the IAU meeting will have place, you can enjoy upscale Mexican cuisine where to taste traditional flavors. Besides this, allow me to mention that in this time of the year, we celebrate El Día de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, which has been very popular after the movie Coco. Probably you have seen that movie. And many people say, you do not see that movie, you cry that movie. So that is a sample of what we do, of how important that tradition is for us. So try to come here a little bit earlier so you can enjoy the different tastes for the Dia de los Muertos, and also very colorful ofrendas. These are offerings that we advocate, we dedicate to the people who have left before us. Well, there are many things I could also mention, and I will be able to talk about Mexico for the whole day, but we are really looking forward to hosting you. Mexico will cordially welcome all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Odorico, and the 4 Mexican students for a very lively presentations. Now, these are students at the University of Malaya. They are studying here. And there you are, the next host, Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, get your hat ready, sombrero ready, and plan your next holiday destination. Ladies and gentlemen, IAU 2019 with the theme, Transforming Higher Education for the Future. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, for our official thank yous, for IAU 2018 Organizing Committee members, I'd like to welcome, once again, I'd like to invite on stage Dr. Hilich to deliver her final official thank you message to the IAU 2018 Organizing Committee.
I hope you're not fed up yet of seeing me again here on stage. But I really want to be here because I think we have to thank quite a few people because this is a very, very, very nice conference again and very special for all of us to be here. So I am very pleased to have the honor, also in the name of Pam and in the name of all the board members who remained with us and participated in this conference from the many parts of the world, to thank you, University of Malaya, very strongly for having hosted this conference. And I can say something about what Trine said in the office. Yes, it was a whole lot of work, but it was nice work because it was always clear, it was always in full transparency, it was always in exchange, and that was really, really very much appreciated. So yes, a lot of work, but when work is like that, it makes it so much more pleasant. So thank you so much for that. Then certainly I would like to thank the Vice Chancellor of the University of Malaya, Professor Abdul Rahim Hashim, which you met on a few occasions during these days. He was called on duty to other events that he had to open and attend. But we're very pleased here to welcome Professor Camila Ghazali, who is acting Deputy Vice Chancellor, because we would like to thank you in his name and in your name and in the name of the university for this wonderful hosting of this international conference. Without you, there would have been no conference first, but without you, even the discussions couldn't have taken place as they took place here.
Right. I would like to invite Professor Camila Ghazali, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic and International, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of University of Malaya, to receive a token of appreciation from Dr. Hilich on behalf of IAU. Okay. Please remain on stage. We have next Dr. Prof. Hayati. Please remain on stage. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Dr. Hilej would like now, to present to receive a token of appreciation. Could you please remain on stage first, Professor Camilla? Now I'd like to invite Professor Hayati on stage to receive a token of appreciation from IAU.
Yes, very
as the
special.
local organizing committee.
There was a local organizing committee, and a local organizing committee, we heard a lot about leadership. Leadership is absolutely essential. There you see her, and that's her. And she had a co-chair, young Zulina Zubairi, who couldn't be here because she's traveling. But it's always very good to be at the head of an organizing committee. But you always are with somebody, and that is what makes it so much more interesting and so much more easy and interesting to facilitate. So thank you very much for your preparations, for your assistance, for your inventivity, for even dancing with us yesterday, and for organizing all these other activities that we could take part in here during these days. You traveled all the way to Peru. That was absolutely fantastic. You convinced us, we came. You even came to Ghana to discuss it further, which was absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much for your strong involvement in this. And behind you, there is not only a co-chair, there is a whole team, and there are 15 official members of the local organizing committee that you could see in the program book. And 15, you think that is quite something, but for this conference, you see an enormous group over there of people who all took part very strongly in the organizing of this event.
The whole host of local organizing committee members, the support staff behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen, each and every one of them.
So thank you very much for all that you had to contribute to this conference. We hope you also took the advantage to take part in some of the sessions and to hear and exchange. I at least had the very great privilege and pleasure to discuss many things with some of you that I met either on buses and during the lunches and elsewhere. So thank you very much for your time, for your dedication, and for bringing this other flavor to the conference. And you remember this picture by Pam. What did she do? She was also pointing to all these students. How many? 400? You had all the colleges that were dancing. You remember? That was the spirit of the conference. So I will do that again, and I think we will keep that for all the future conferences, the dynamics. So thank you so much, because that makes the difference. You're the future leaders, and you will make sure that our futures are also the ones that we would wish to live in. So we have a little token of appreciation that will never be big enough to express everything that we wish to express. And I'm not the only one thanking. We are a team here of 6 people from Paris, and they want to be with us to thank you, actually, in spirit and mind. And there are also those in the office in Paris that we should not forget, because they're also very pleased with everything that we could do together. So in the name of everyone, in the name of the president, in the name of the board, a little gift for you.
Okay, and in the name of the host, University of Malaya, and co-organizer of IAU 2018, we would like to thank you, Dr. Hilage, Professor Pam, and IAU, thank you so much for making this event possible. Without your cooperation and support, this would not have been possible.
Okay.
Yes?
I am sorry, but I'm very bad at protocol, and I still have to say something.
Yes.
Because I want to thank all the speakers. I certainly also want to thank all the chairs, because that is what makes this conference what it is. I want to thank the conference participants. You traveled all this way. Everybody was tired at times, and the other times you were full of energy at the wrong times, also interesting. But this is what makes this conference, and you all participated in the discussions, and many ideas are already floating for future activities. Then I want to thank the students beyond you, and I hope you will benefit from what is coming out of this conference. The board I mentioned, but I mentioned it again because it's very nice that you stayed on. We had 3 full board meetings before this conference. They stayed on, and that's a lot of commitment, because it means a week out of your normal work. And you know that you will have a lot to do back home to make up for that, but we are very thankful because it allows to infuse new dynamics. And then I have to really thank my staff who was here, without whom obviously we would have had also no conference. It was a co-creation, a collaboration, but I would like to thank Sauli Andriambolonivo. I don't know if she's in the room. I hope she is. Yes, she is. Sauli, please come up. And then Nicholas Poulton, I know he's sitting in the back, but he can do some exercise. He said yesterday he was sitting too much anyway, so he can come up. Stephanie Malo, please. Giorgio Marinoni, and I was so tired yesterday, I even gave him another name, but even that he accepted. And certainly last but not least, Trine Jensen, who made this conference what it is. Because let's take that metaphor of the book again. It is a whole journey. You open the first page, you never get. The first page was open in Peru, and now we will not close the last one, but we know there will be many annexes to it. So let's do that together. And thank you, my staff. Thank you, the University of Malaya staff. Thank you all in the room. It was a wonderful conference.
Professor Pam would like to say some words, farewell words.
I'm not going to make a speech. I would just add to what has been said. It's been wonderful. You have been great, all of you, and we have all participated and made this, I would say, this conference to a success. And I would like to add once more, we would like to see students in our meetings in the future. You have done a great job. So please bring students from abroad to the next meeting in Mexico. Thanks, and have a nice trip back.
So for a photo session, like to the photographers would like to take a photo. So just please remain on stage.
And the students, can you come up?
Thank you very much. Now committee members as well on stage. Bear with us for the photo session, ladies and gentlemen. The committee members of IAU 2018 Organizing Committee. This is not the end of the event. We have a video montage, yeah, of the goings on for the past 2 days of the conference. Ladies and gentlemen, just a few minutes of the video montage that will be played. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This marks the end of IAU 2018 International Conference, but don't let this be the end. Let this be the beginning of networking and collaborations. Till the next IAU 2019 conference in Mexico, have a safe trip. Thank you very much for your attendance and for being here today. You've been a great audience. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And for some housekeeping rules, some of you may be going for the symphony orchestra tonight. Yes, so you will be picked up. The bus will arrive at the hotel Pullman lobby at 7 o'clock. So be at the lobby at 7 and hope you enjoy the orchestra. Thank you.